Hi, this is Jim King with Insights to Freedom. Welcome. I'm going to go through a 3-part series on how money works, how you can replace the bank with your own financing system, and then also show you exactly what happens when you begin to recapture the interest and the debts that you have within your own finance system and the power that there is. One of the recent ads that I did said you could reclaim or make $500,000 during your lifetime, and I'm not kidding. You can do that. It's all based on how you look at money and to change the flow of money. So behind me, you see this bank. Isn't that a pretty bank? Most bank buildings are really big and nice and beautiful. They're using your money to do that, by the way. But I'm going to show you real quick how money flows and to begin changing your mindset. This is the first part of 3 parts, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to come over here and you're going to be a depositor in your bank. And most of us go to work, make money, we take our check, and we take it and deposit it in a bank. Part of it goes into maybe a savings mechanism of some point or some kind. But the reality is that most of us have our money go through a bank. As soon as we deposit that in the bank is going to have some rules to it, and they want you to leave your money in there as long as possible so that you build interest. That's their mindset. They get us to believe it's safe to have our money parked in a bank. In exchange, they give us interest on our money. So we deposit into a bank and the bank gives us interest. Okay, right now we know that the banks don't really give very much interest. Most people don't know that banks actually make way more money in low interest times than they do in higher interest times. And it's not just because they pay us more money, but there's a bigger return for them using money that's in the bank. Now, we're a depositor into the bank, and also the central bank or the Federal Reserve also dumps money into banks, and they can loan that out in a fractional reserve setting. The fractional reserve means they're supposed to hold a fraction in the bank to be the base for all the loans that they make. In October of 2019, Congress passed a law saying that they no longer have to do that. So really the money going through banks is kind of fiat money, and they can loan it out without a big reserve kept over in the bank. And there's obvious problems with that for another time, okay, another video. But right now, you're going to deposit your money into the bank. The bank is going to say that they're going to give you interest, and at the same time, the bank is going to immediately put the money to work. Even though they tell us, leave your money in there. Even stock market, money markets, your financial planner, whatever your holding mechanism, they're always telling you the same thing. Leave it in there. Okay, now we're in currently in a down market as far as the stock market and Wall Street, but the financial planners are still telling you the same thing. Keep putting in, it's going to come back, and the volatility in that. But anyway, the reality is they don't do that. None of them do that. And until we change our mindset to the mindset of a banker, we're going to keep giving a lot of money away during our lifetime just because we lose control of our money. In this situation, the bank is going to put it to work immediately, and they're going to loan it out. And let's just say this is a car, and they loan that out, and then the person begins to make payments back into the bank. Okay, the bank takes that money and immediately loans it out. Let's say it's to consolidate debt, and it's 10%. The car is at 5%. And they start making payments back into the bank. And then they loan it out again, and let's say this is a credit card. and the credit card is at 12.6%. We're taught that that's a really good rate for a credit card. Think about that. And then they make payments back in, and there's all this flow of money out of the bank and back into the bank, and that's the only way banks stay in business, is if they loan money out and they get payments back in. So if we're thinking like a banker, if we start to change our mindset to becoming a banker, that's what we're wanting to do with our money too. You see, what happens is we deposit money into a bank and we begin to save. Maybe it's into 401k or IRA or whatever, and these companies leverage that money to make loans, to do the things that they're going to do. So really, we're depositing into a bank, we're buying the same car, so we're the depositor and we're also the borrower on this. So we're borrowing our own money and we're making payments back into the bank. Okay, so it seems a little bit silly that we do it that way, but that's the way that we've been taught and trained, and that's what we do. Okay, save money in whatever mechanism, don't touch it, and then go borrow from these third-party creditors, banks or finance companies or whatever, and make